Hello and welcome to What's New Today. This is a kids and family podcast about current events shaping our world. From India, this is Sangeeta, and with me today is a super sportive co host.
My name is Vihaan and I'm from India and technically 9.5.
Every weekday, we discuss one interesting news story, be it in science or politics or business or sports. So, Vihaan, do you read the news much?
Yes, I read football news. I listen to the podcast on this channel. My favorite one is why Europe is getting more soldiers.
And Vihaan, what are your other interests?
I like reading. I play lots of kind of sports, cricket, football, tennis.
Vihaan, let's begin today's episode with a small riddle before we jump into the news story. I will give you a couple of hints and you'll have to guess who I am. And I'll give you a hint, I'm an object.
Okay.
In ancient China, people made me with cloth and they used to fill me with a lot of rubbish and then close me up. Then a few years later or a few centuries later in medieval Europe, they used to make me with inflated pig bladder and again fill me with all sorts of rubbish. What am I?
A garbage can?
No, I'm not a garbage can. Okay, hint. This is related to soccer.
Football.
It is a football in ancient years when they didn't have good quality leather or rubber to make football. This is how they used to make the football. Would you have liked to play with a football made with inflated pig bladder?
No.
But Vihaan, do you know what soccer balls are made of today?
Leather and some cloth inside the ball. I know that because my ball has been punctured and I got a hole in it. And I saw it.
Yes, you're right. It is nowadays it is made of synthetic leather. Do you know how much it weighs?
I think the football is weighed between 420 grams to 450 grams, and they always weigh it before the match starts. If it's not weighed between that range, they will call the match off.
And as the game progresses, usually the ball will gain weight. You know why? Usually if the ground is wet, it will collect a little bit of water.
Yeah.
So Vihaan, you've seen many football matches. What colors
Yes.
come to your mind when I say the word football? The ball itself. I'm talking about the soccer ball.
White, black.
Right. White and black are the colors that come to most of our minds, right? Give you an interesting story. Most of the ancient footballs, not ancient, not even before 1970, I think, these footballs were in all sorts of colors. It was in the 1970 World Cup that Adidas made a football with white and black color and used it during the World Cup because those days most people started watching football matches on TV and the TV was black and white, right? So it was very easy for someone to see a football moving rapidly across the ground on TV if it had this white and black contrasts. What colors do they use in football matches today?
There are many types of balls. They use multicolors, sometimes bright colors, according to the weather. White and black also sometimes.
Okay, so I guess now because we have color TV, we have migrated to using all sorts of colors on our footballs.
Yeah.
Okay, so now today's news story, Vihaan, is about an important ruling in the United States that today allows men and women who play soccer to be treated equally and paid equally, the same amount of money. You follow a lot of soccer. Do you think the United States, the soccer team from the United States, are they even a serious contender?
They are okay. I've seen one match between USA and Mexico. They had 1-2-0. That's the only match I've seen. And I wouldn't be able to judge the team by just seeing one match. So I don't really know.
That's a very fair statement to make. Have they ever won? Has the US men's soccer ever won any serious league matches or a World Cup?
I don't think so.
No, right? But I don't think any of us who follows soccer, and I don't follow soccer seriously, but even from whatever little we all know, have you heard of anyone following the women's soccer teams?
No, not really.
I'll give you an interesting trivia. The US women's soccer team is a very strong team. They have won 4 out of the 8 soccer World Cups to this day.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a team from France, Portugal, or England.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those strong men's teams, right? Yes. Now, you just spoke about teams from France or Italy or England. Do you have any favorite players?
From France, I can name a couple. Anthony and Griezmann, N'Golo Kante, Paul Pogba, Kylian Mbappe. Um, N'Golo Kante is just all around the pitch. Even though he's small and has short legs, he just has a lot of stamina in him, and he can play any position in every game. Harry Kane is one of the uh, top scorers in England. Scored like at least one goal in most of his matches.
So, like I said, the women's soccer team in the US is way stronger than the men's team. I'll give you another small piece of trivia. Now, the men's soccer team in the US, I think they just about make it to the group level matches. I don't think they even managed to qualify for a semifinals. I think in the last World Cup, the men's team from the US got paid about $12 million. The women's soccer team, they not only qualified, they made it to the semifinals, made it to the finals, and won the World Cup. Do you want to take a guess how much they got paid?
100 million?
100 million? No, they got paid $4 million.
Why?
So, usually in most sports, men and women's teams are not paid equally. So, the women's teams inevitably earn a little lower than the men's team. You'll see it in most of the other sports today. But the US women's team, they got really upset, right? So because they are playing really well and they are a very strong team, and they decided to complain in 2016. What do you think happened after they complained?
I think they won the argument, and from the next World Cup, they will earn more money up about the ratings.
That's what should have happened, right? Nothing happened. No one bothered to take their complaint seriously in 2016. So then the women got even more upset. Then they decided to file a lawsuit in a court. You know what a lawsuit is?
No.
Have you seen any movie where people go and fight an argument in court?
Yeah.
Which movie?
Well, not a movie, series. I've seen this with my dad just like a couple months ago, the Lincoln lawyer. Yeah, they accuse people. They find out ways to give reason to the judge to win the case.
Right. So that's what is a lawsuit, right? So the women went and filed a lawsuit in court saying, we are very unhappy. We play soccer really well, but the men who don't even qualify at the group level are getting paid way more than us, and we are winning World Cups and coming here. This is just not done. Finally, I think this is the first time ever any large country in the world has been able to award what's called an equal pay contract to the US women's soccer team.
I think they should earn more money than the men's because like they are winning much more. Like I don't even think the US has ever made it to the quarterfinals or semifinals.
Completely agree. You know, there's one other big sport, which is tennis. Until 15 years ago, the male tennis players used to be paid almost 8 to 10 times as much as the female tennis players. Again, the women in tennis also fought for equal pay. And the US Open and Wimbledon, both of these are today the prize money that's awarded to, I think, men and women players is equal. So now, after years, the US soccer women's team have won equal pay. In the US, for every match that a woman player plays and a man player plays, they are paid equally. Again, for every win, I think they all win a performance bonus. That is also now equal.
I personally think all countries should do that way.
How did your interest in football begin?
I saw one match. My father was just scrolling through the TV, so he put it on for like 4 minutes, and I saw it. I was also like very young. My mother had also put me in a football class. I didn't like it. Then again, after seeing the match, I asked her to put me in a class. I started also in like when I was like 3 and a half. That was my first football class. And then after that, I started playing football. I want to become a professional footballer because seeing these players play and winning trophies, I would like to do that one day.
Men and women get paid unequally in most sports, right? Can you think of a good reason why that may be the case?
I mean, it's very unfair to the women. Like after they made the solution in tennis, I think they should do it in other sports like cricket, football, hockey, badminton. I think if they get paid equally, the world will be it will be a much better place to live in.
With that, we come to the next interesting part of this episode, Vihaan.
Quiz time.
So, Vihaan, today I have a couple of questions for you about some things that we did discuss in today's episode and some things that you may know as a trivia from all the football that you've been following over the years. Ready? Question one. Which country won the FIFA World Cup in 2018? I'm talking about the men.
It was the match between France and Argentina, and France had won the 2018 World Cup.
Question two. Who won the Women's Soccer World Cup in 2018? Which country?
The women's national team of USA had won the World Cup of 2018. The women had filed a lawsuit in the court because they were not happy that the men were getting more money despite winning the World Cup. The court had made the judgment that both men and women would get equally paid for the games they played in the US.
That's it from us today. We'll be back soon with yet another news story. If you have been enjoying listening to our podcast, please share them widely with your friends and family and on social media. Each time you share these links along with a message on why you love us, it's a huge gift for us. If you're one of those curious children out there that would like to co-host an episode with me, please write to me at hello@wsnt.in.
Thanks for listening.